Hello guys and gals. Here we are in Charleston, South Carolina, doing my first video on old world architecture. We came in and started to notice things like those archways that don't seem too modern. This building back here definitely has old world written all over it. And then this one even more so, I think. And so yeah, we're going to walk on down through the town here and see what kind of old world buildings we can find to get some decent shots, get some close-ups of the seams, just the different things they did then they don't do now. And I'll be back with you in a few. Well, I like this old stones here. We got this little sign over here. Its own little area here. It's got like the benches over here. I'm liking this stonework down here. That's unique, I think. I don't know if it's per se old world, but I do like it a lot. I'm not used to seeing it. Not real common today anyway. We got stones up through here. Heck, over here we got a gravel path coming off. That's pretty interesting. Those archways just keep catching my attention up there. So it seems so out of place in today's world. Now look at the round corner in the front of this building. Surely looks indicative of an architectural style that we don't use now. Squares and rectangles everywhere you look. I have to take a closer look at the bottom of that building and see if we can tell there was a bottom floor that they've kind of just run a sidewalk into. Hey, I even found one allegedly being constructed. Those who know will know what I'm talking about. We got scaffolding. Must mean they're building it from the ground up. Another one of these big old doors that they just had to fill in with windows. Maybe our heads didn't need all that clearance, so they figured they'd take up the waste of energy. I think maybe back when they had a much more affordable energy to heat and cool with, possibly. And this one seems old world, but they've done so much to cover it up, it's unreal. It's got the big pillars right there, so probably old world, but they've done a good job uglying it up with new world crap. Be real about it. Those buildings, just the bottoms being that light colored stone material, going up to a different type material just makes me think it could be old world. But then just the entirety of it don't look old world. And what do we have here? Old Liberty Place looks like it might be quite old. Just wonder when exactly this building was really truly built. I have to check up the history on these buildings later. See what they're willing to tell us about them. Okay. Looks like we got one with some rounded places in it down here. That one looks like it could have at that point had a dome on it at one point. I find this to be rather interesting right here. I'm noticing the sidewalk here is at this level and then the street is down there. Is that maybe to cover up so it don't look goofy here at the top of these windows that they've covered the other stories of this massively large building here? One that they founded, I'm sure it says somewhere. I'd love to find a cornerstone and go ahead and get that for everybody.
That is almost like the picture perfect thing.
There is no houses like this on any block I ever lived on. with a wall around it. Those stairs, I haven't seen anybody building stairs like that outside the house, especially in my 4 decades of being around. And we got the wall goes all the way. I have to believe that and the building there beside of it. So this place and this place both were probably founded at some point. Or I just think, hey, we got rid of the owners, so let's go take this property and see what we can make of it. Just can't help but to notice there's a little statue somewhat hidden over here in this yard, in the bushes. Now, who in the world would have such a nice statue and hide it with bushes? Like, really? Yeah, I had to come and get a better look at this statue. Now, why would they hide it in their yard as they have? Why would they do that? Don't make sense, man. Don't make sense. Probably some more covering up. I know this ain't like ancient architecture, but man, it's a Porsche. I don't care when it was built, it gets added to the video. Yes, sir. I'd just be a weird guy if I couldn't add this little Porsche to the video. And we got to get the back end, of course. Oh yeah, boy, that is so pretty. Okay, here we go. Let's see what kind of truth or lies they got on this side. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on this sign for a minute for you guys and gals. You can pause it there and read it if you would like, but yeah, I don't know how true or false it is. Please go on, car. It's so hard to do this on the streets and expect the world to work with me. But yeah, anyway, like I said, you can pause it and read right there if you'd like. There's some historical stuff in there. I'm not going to go so far as say facts because, well, we know all these founded buildings they got. There may be a lot more to those stories. I'm more interested in figuring out all the buried parts, why they just covered those up and didn't use them too. Now this was really interesting, my wife points out to me over here. This one goes so far as to even have the pine cones on the pillars in the yard. Boy, ain't that a common sight to see in nowadays architecture. It's like, yeah, we just put a couple pine cones on a couple pillars in the yard, but don't pay it no mind. There's nothing unique about this place. Well, we got 3 of them here. We're talking a few pine cones. Alright, y'all, I got a nice little, what I think is just the top of another huge building under the ground here. We got over there, then we got this little coming through, then we got over here, and we got this huge wall in front of it. And this just looks to me like something that was repurposed, but maybe we've got like a huge massive building underground here, and there was different top sections that just came up farther, and then this was all the roofing area right here, and they just built this in later, because look at it, it's like nowadays little brick squares and rectangles. And then that over there, as well as this over here, is just parts of the top of like maybe a huge temple like castle structure that actually is a lot taller than we see now. This is just a couple top portions right there and over there that stuck up further. And then this right here was also part of the roof, I think, this wall. And they've just kind of repurposed it and even went so far as to build this here later to make it seem like a parking lot when it was truly, honestly, in the beginning, the roof of a building. Yeah, and this furthers my suspicions. Oh, there's another part of the building at the top of protruded up further. If I can find it when I'm editing this later, I'll see if I can't find some pictures online of some buildings for an example of what I'm talking about, which is the different structures protrude higher and then the rest is all covered up. You can even tell right here it goes up to that a little ways, and then on the other side is where I got the sidewalk raised up to kind of cover up where they covered up the bottom half of the door facings and the bottom half or the whole doorways and the bottom windows and things like that. But you know, a lot of us look at this stuff a lot and have dissected it and researched it and realize this was done all over this country, from the east to the west coast. I think this is interesting, the way they got this put together. But the slits in here, I've not seen that done in 40 years. But I could be wrong when they built that recently, but I just kind of doubt it. If they built it recently, they just mimicked what was already there when they founded it. Look at these windows. Ain't that just unique? I don't see that every day. I'm so glad my wife chose this city to be the first one that we came to cover these type buildings. It's a great one. We want to go to DC and to Richmond later on. And I figure we can get a lot of buildings there. I know there's a Charleston, West Virginia has the Capitol building that even has the Golden Dome. So that one's rather interesting. And it's absolutely as old world as the White House. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And of course we got the library here. Of course it's going to be one of the old world refurbished somethings that they just decided to found and use. But notice the steps going up to it, and how many times have we seen it's never level with the road. It always has to go up to the first floor. Yeah, so it don't look retarded when you see windows too good on the bottom floor. Those are just boarded up on this, what they call the first floor now, but I'm sure right behind those bricks is probably the tops of the windowsills from below. And we'll see if I can see them now. They probably got them hid real good. Yeah, they got it hidden, just looking like it's some sort of foundation nowadays. I'm doubting it. I could be just totally wrong and they're just on the up and up and built it all themselves, and I doubt it. And there's the first thing I videoed when I got out. And there's the scaffolding. Hey look, they're building a new building, y'all. Gotta be, it's got scaffolding. And we know old world architecture, you see the scaffolding in all the construction videos.
Oh wait, they're just gonna paint it, right?
Of course it's the original construction. Yeah, this very indicative of old world. Got the round thing to it there. I'm telling you, y'all, we need to look into the frequencies way more, because there's a lot to do with frequencies that we just simply don't understand. It's, I think the square and rectangle thing to all of our places now, I think that really limits our abilities when it comes to the benefit we could get from frequency. You notice like the teepee that the natives had, and then you have the Eskimos building igloos. Notice those structures are all round. And I think there's a lot to like the way the frequencies are allowed to, the acoustics are projected across the rooms and things and bounce back and stuff like that. And then I've heard that, and yeah, look at the light poles here. Right there's a newer light pole. Here's one of the one with the little extra accessories on it. But yeah, you see the little spiky dudes right there. Looks like maybe there was a energy harvesting mechanism in that, possibly. Could that have been to just harvest energy from the atmosphere to control the lights that used to be on there? Because I highly doubt it used to be little red lights like that. Because yeah, the ancient world didn't seem to need such mediocre technologies, because they just zap into the atmosphere and charge their stuff. So yeah, they didn't waste nothing. They used what was around them to their advantage. Even the roundness to the building to project the frequencies in a more positive flow, we'll say. Well, Now, I wonder if that still has the ability to harvest the energy the same as before. Of course, you know, it's just a weather vane or a lightning rod. Why the heck would we attract lightning to our house? Seriously, or to our church houses? For real though, why would you do that? It made no sense, but everybody bought it though. Oh, we hear some bells. Beautiful. Wow, look at this. Oh, wow. Just a big slab of granite right there, man. What's that all about? And then we got these windows over here. You can tell that that's not modern day building. And look how interesting it is. The steps go up to the first floor again. I would just love to know how deep these bad boys go down. Here we go. Here's another plaque, probably full of lies, but we'll look at it anyway. If you want to pause it, probably do you better. Yeah, I really don't trust those plaques. I just think that's what they'll put on the buildings to promote their narrative of how they came to be. And then these here was probably just the tops of whatever they originally were. Probably went, like big windows went way on down in there. And then right here, I would say that was a door probably wider and probably 30 feet tall. I'm just guessing though, I could be totally wrong. I can't say I know that for, you know, a fact or anything. We got another placard that might just tell us their narrative again. They got 18s on it, so. But I'll give you guys and gals a good look at it so you guys and gals can pause it and, you know, just take your time to read whatever. But I can't help but to think we've been deceived in so many ways at this time. I don't believe nothing they have to say. I honestly don't. They came and founded these old buildings, and none of them says constructed or established or anything like that. They're all founded. And I just can't help but to think it's because there was nobody around that used to own them. They just come and what they called founded them. Just took them over, basically. I'll leave it on this one a little bit longer and make sure it gets focused on it and everything. So hopefully y'all get a chance to read what it says. I'm hoping y'all can see this. Alright. Man, we picked a good spot to come to do this first video, I gotta say. Okay, this is all a bunch of new stuff. Of course, we got the plastic and wood everywhere, not stone.